Additional safety measures have been deployed at the start of the 20th Growth and Opportunity Act Summit, which kicks off in Johannesburg today. The participation of the African continent is expected to feature strongly at the forum. The gathering, which begins today, takes place under quite a wordy theme, but an important one: partnering to build a resilient, sustainable and inclusive AGOA to support economic development.
Yeah, of course, our team is watching this quite closely. And let's take you now to our business anchor, Tumisang Ndlovu, who's at Nasrec for us. That's where all the business is going to unfold there, Tumisang. What's at the core of this gathering, particularly after the tensions we've seen between South Africa and the US?
Thanks, Ayanda. At the core of this year's agenda speaks to exactly the theme of the forum, fostering those partnerships. The biggest question, though, is who benefits and how far those benefits go for Africa, and in particular South Africa. It's a question that has come up lately, given the geopolitical tensions that you alluded to. And on the side of the benefits that I am speaking about, it's been noted that the likes of Ghana, Madagascar have benefited from AGOA over the past 20 years, particularly in trade with the US pertaining to textiles as well as agriculture. And now that there was a tiff between the US and South Africa, that question comes out quite strongly to say, how far have the benefits gone, and do they warrant an extension of AGOA itself? Take a listen to what agricultural economist Wandile Slobo has had to say.
For South Africa's side, the idea is to try to continue to be included onto this, even though I would say after this potential extension, we have to be thinking about another way of engaging with the U.S. and perhaps look at what Kenya and the U.S. have and see if there could be some bilateral agreement on that. But there are clearly industries that benefit here, the automobile, and more specifically the industry that I am in, the agricultural sector. And we are a sector that is export-oriented. We send out on exports each year just under $13 billion of agricultural products. And yes, a large part of that, about 40%, goes to the African continent, and you would have about 25% to the EU and the other markets that are important, Asia and the Middle East. But the US also takes a significant proportion, because that Americas region will take up anything around about 5 to 7% of our agricultural exports. But what's even more important is that those exports that go there are largely our fruit as well as wine, which means that provinces such as the Western Cape and Limpopo, and to an extent KZN, are amongst those that are key beneficiaries. So the idea is that if we can see the continuous or extension of this, it would really be beneficial for a sector like ours.
Tumisang, we know this is a 3-day event. Is there any information about how today is likely to unfold, though?
And it is indeed a 3-day event, and much of today's events are going to center around the Trade and Industry and Competitions Minister, Ibrahim Patel, customizing and acclimatizing the guests and delegates with regards to an exhibition that has been set up inside Nasrec right behind me. Once the official start of the program begins, we'll be able to take you inside to see the floor of this expo center, where a separate and a wide-ranging element of exhibitions have been set up, especially on the side of what Africa has to offer the world within the pact of AGOA, especially if there is a call for an extension. However, it's a contentious one. How the U.S. extends AGOA in its current form, or do they let it expire into this deadline of 2023, which would be marking the 20th year of this pact.
It's an important iteration of the gathering, given just how much tension there's been geopolitically throughout the world. Tumisang Ndlovu, live to us there from Nasrec. For now, thanks very much indeed.